by a district. Are you interested to learn new things? New inventions? Yes. We are going to learn a new lesson, an interesting lesson, the invention of Vita Wonk. Let us see what is the invention in this lesson. Before going into the lesson, let's have a glance and overview of the lesson. Come on.
Here in this lesson, we have three main parts. They are before you read, comprehensive reading, the invention of Vita Wonk, and comprehension check. Before going into the lesson, let us see what are the learning outcomes that you will achieve after the ending of the lesson. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to recognize that the lesson may explore the theme of time and passing of it. State the questions posed in this lesson, including about the oldest people and things the reader knows, as well as asking if the reader has ever wished to be older. Describe the process of creating Vita Wonk as explained by Mr. Wonk. Express the dangers associated with the ingredients used in creating the Vita Wonk. Summarize the story of the invention of Vita Wonk and its effects on the Oompa Loompa who consumed it. Choose the correct option to answer the questions asked by character in a story to initiate problem solving or exploration. Children, be ready to enter into the first part of the activity before you read. This is an intro activity. Who are the oldest people you know? What are the oldest things you have in your house, in your city, town, or village? How old are they? Who are the oldest people that you know? Which is the oldest things around you? Oldest means about 60, 70, 100 years old things. If you have any, you have to mention. Okay? Have you ever wished that you were older? Sometimes you may feel that when your parents say that this is only for elder people, not for kids, and sometimes they may tell you that please don't interfere in elders' matter, something like that. Have you ever wished that you could grow in a hurry? Of course, you may feel that if I grow elder quickly, I can go to movies, tours, malls on my own, etc. Okay, now you have to answer some questions on your own. Let's see what are they. What works do you wish to do when you were older? Children, if you became older, what works you wish to do? You have to mention. If you suddenly became older or younger than your age, how do you feel? Let's imagine that if you suddenly became older or younger than your age, what is your feeling? You have to express it. Fine, children, you answered very well. Let's move into the lesson and see there is something which can actually make you grow very fast. What is it? Let's understand that. Mr. Willy Wonka begins by inventing Wonka White, which makes people younger. Basically, Mr. Willy Wonka invented a thing that if you consume that, you will become younger, which means you look younger than your actual age. For example, if you give this to a 50 years old person, he will become of your age or much lesser than you. The name of the thing was Wonka White. But Wonka White is too strong. So some people disappear because their age becomes minus. One person actually becomes minus 87, which means he's got to wait 87 years before he can come back. White means a tablet. It was that much strong that some people disappear because their age becomes minus. Generally, we count our age from our date of birth. Here, after taking this Wonka White, some people got disappeared, which means they have to wait some years before they can come back. People are disappearing after eating this Wonka White. Now, he must invent something that the age become older. Mr. Willy Wonka must invent a new thing now. So, Would he able to do something like that? Let us see. Mr. Wonka said, so once again I rolled up my sleeves and set to work. Once again I squeezed my brain searching for the new recipe. So, Mr. Wonka understood that there is a need to make a new medicine to invent something that can grow the eyes of the people. So, once again, I rolled up my sleeves means he began to work again, and squeezed my brain means which means to think very hard. Here, recipe means a set of instructions for making something. So, he has to follow them and create a new medicine. I had to create age to make people old, older, oldest. Ha ha! I cried, for now the ideas were beginning to come. Yes, now he was all thinking about how to create age, how to make people old, older, oldest, like that. Ideas were popping up in his mind. Now he got an idea. What is the oldest living thing in the world? What lives longer than anything else? Now, he is having conversation with a small boy whose name is Charlie Bucket. Mr. Wonka asked the little boy that which lives longer than anything else. And what does Charlie replies? Children, let's see some new words in this paragraph and know their meanings. Okay, children? Set to work. Began to work. Squeezed my brain. Think very hard. Recipe. Instructions for making something. Repeat after me. Set to work. Began to work. Squeezed my brain. Think very hard. Recipe. Instructions for making something. Now, let's check your comprehension. Okay? What is the use of Wonka White? Can anyone's S be a minus number? What does minus 87 mean? Mr. Wonka invented Wonka White. What is the use of it? You have to answer it. Okay, fine. Let's turn into next question. Why is it necessary to invent a new thing for Mr. Wonka? Already Mr. Wonka invented a new medicine, Wonka White. Again, he is in necessity to invent a new medicine. Why? What is the reason behind this? You have to explain. Well done, children. Great job. Next, we will see what was the reply of Charlie for Mr. Wonka's question. Let's move into the lesson again. A tree, Charlie said. Right here, Charlie. Charlie replied, a tree. Mr. Wonka said that, yes, Charlie, you are exactly right. A tree is one which lives for very long. Trees are of age 300, 400, 500, 1000 years also may possible. But what kind of a tree? Not the Douglas fir. Mr. Wonka is saying that Douglas fir is the one with needle-like leaves and cones. Why are these leaves like needles? Since they are at extreme heights, there will be very low temperatures. They are grown at mountain regions. The structure of the trees are conical because ice can easily fall down from the leaves and the trees can breathe easily. Not the oak. Yes, it is not the oak tree. Oak tree is a family of large trees with hard wood. The chinar in Kashmir is a kind of oak tree. Furniture is generally made with oak trees. Not the cedar. Cedar is an evergreen tree with hard, red, sweet smelling wood used for making boxes, pencils, fences, etc. Yeah, with this cedar tree wood, you can get all the above things. No, no, my boy, it is a tree called the bristlecone pine that grows upon the slopes of Wheeler Peak in Nevada, USA. No, my boy, it's not the fir, oak, or cedar. It is the bristlecone pine tree. It is in Wheeler Peak Mountain in Nevada, United States of America. Children, let us see some new words in this paragraph and know their meanings. Okay, children? First, set to work, began to work, squeezed my brain, think very hard, recipe, instructions for making something. Children, hope you understood the meanings of the new words. Next, we will see that what was the reply of Charlie. Ask any dendrochronologist you like. Now, who is said to be a dendrochronologist? A dendrochronologist is a professional who determines age. Now, if you wish to know the age of any log, you can cut a piece of it and see the upper layer of the log. You can see the veins or rings of the pot. With these rings, you can find out the age of any tree. Now, this is the job of a dendrochronologist. So that started me off. So, with this, he started off. I jumped into the great glass elevator. So, how did he travel? He traveled with the help of glass elevator. Great glass elevator was his first invention. With this, he can travel anywhere in the world and rush all over the world collecting special items from the oldest living things. So he rushed all over the world to collect special items from the oldest living things to prepare a new medicine to make people older. He said to Charlie that I need some oldest living things samples to prepare the medicine. So I identified the oldest things in the world first, and I went there and I took specimens from the oldest things. Let us see what are the oldest things that Mr. Wonka collected from all over the world. First thing that he collected was a pint of sap from a 4,000-year-old bristlecone pine. Sap means juice of a woody plant. A woody plant like the pine releases some liquid which is called sap. Pint is a unit of measurement. It's almost like a half liter. It is a unit of liquid. So he took half liter liquid from bristlecone pine tree. Let us see what's the second thing he collected to prepare the medicine. The toenail clippings from a 168-year-old Russian farmer called Petrovich Grigorovich. So he collected toenail clippings of a person whose name was Petrovich Grigorovich. He was 168 years old Russian farmer. The third oldest thing he collected was an egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. Next, he went to the king of Tonga and collected an egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise. Let's see what is the next thing he collected. The tail of a 51-year-old horse in Arabia. Mr. Wonka collected the tail of an old horse which is 51 years old horse from Arabia. You will be surprised if you know about the next oldest thing of his collection was the whiskers of a 36-year-old cat called Crumpets. Next, he collected the whiskers of a cat. Whiskers means hair on its mouth. The cat was 36 years old. Generally, cats do not live that much longer. The name of that cat was Crumpets. Let us see what is the next thing he collected. An old flea which had lived on Crumpets for 36 years. Next, he collected a flea. Flea is a small insect living on the skin of animals for their blood. For example, lice, which lies on our head and sucks blood. Flea is also a small insect, lives on the skin of an animal and sucks the blood of that animal. So he collected a 36 years old of flea which had lived on Crumpets. It's strange, no? Come on, let's move into the another item. The tale of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. Next, he went to Tibet in his great glass elevator. There, he saw a 207-year-old rat which was giant in size. Giant means very big in size. He collected its tail. The next item he collected was the black teeth of a 97-year-old Grimalkin living in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl. The other thing he brought was the black teeth of a 97 years old person named Grimalkin. He lives in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl. Yes, there is one more item he collected was the knuckle bones of a 700-year-old cataloo from Peru. Last, he collected one more oldest thing that was knuckle bones of a 700-year-old cataloo from Peru. Cataloo is a cow. Knuckle bones means the bones in palm. So he got a lot of oldest things but strange things. And now, what did he do with all these things? I know that you are very much curious to know what happened next. Before we go into further, let us see what did we understand so far. Okay, are you ready? Yes. Which is the oldest living thing in view of Mr. Onka? And where can we see that now? Children, hope you have understood the lesson so far. Now try to answer it. Okay, fine. Let's turn into next question. Have you ever traveled in elevator? What is the special feature that you observed in great glass elevator? Children, hope you have understood the lesson so far. Now try to answer it. Okay, fine. Let's turn into final assessment. Who is the oldest person in a family? Grandfather, mother, sister? Yes, grandfather is the oldest person among the three. Option A is correct. Well done, children. Congratulations. Great job. Next question is, which is the opposite word for old? Fast, young, grow. Yes, the opposite of old is young. Your answer is correct. Option Children,
B is
let us
correct
see our
answer.
understanding.
Here is
Choose
another
the
question
right
for you.
answer. Mr. Willy Wonka is a cook, an inventor, a manager. Yes, Mr. Willy Wonka is an inventor. Correct answer is option B. Well done, children. Great. Here is another question for you. Wonka White makes people older or younger? Yes, your answer is perfectly right. Wonka White makes people younger. Option B is correct. Fantastic job. One more question. Mr. Wonka wants to invent a new thing which will make people younger or older. Oh, yes, correct. Mr. Wonka wants to invent a new thing which will make people older. Yes, option B is correct. Fabulous, children. Great going. You answered very well. And here is a home task for you. What is the age of old tortoise in this lesson? A. 150 years. B. 250 years. C. 200 years. Fabulous, children. Great going. You answered very well. Option C. 200 years is the correct answer. Next, one more question for you. Where do you find bristlecone pines of over 4,000 years old? A. USA, B. Australia, C. India. Fabulous children, great going. You answered very well. Option A, USA is the correct answer. Next, move into another question. Which part of the old horse was collected by Mr. Onka? A. Whiskers, B. Hair, C. Tail. Fabulous children. Option C. Tail is the correct answer. Great going. You answered very well. Next, move into another question. Mr. Wonka collected knuckle bones of a 700-year-old dash from Peru. Options in the blank are tortoise, cattle, horse. Yes, option B, cattle is the correct answer. Fabulous. Children, great going. Congratulations. You answered very well. Next, move into another question. Number of oldest items Mr. Wonka collected from all over the world are A. 9, B. 10, C. 5. Oh, yes, correct answer. He collected 9 oldest things. Option A is the correct answer. Fabulous children, great going. You answered very well for all the questions. Next, let's have a look on what you have learned so far. Children, let's stop here and see what happened so far. Mr. Willy Wonka invented a medicine which makes people so younger, sometimes their age becomes -2. So, he was in necessity to invent another new medicine which can make people older, oldest. For this, he wants some samples of oldest living things. So, he went to all over the world to collect such things in his first invention, Great Glass Elevator, which can take him to anywhere in the world. He traveled all over the world and collected so many samples of oldest and strange things. They are sap of a pine, toenail clippings of a person, an egg of a tortoise, the tail of a horse, the whiskers of a cat, an old flea, the tail of a giant rat, the black teeth of a person, the knuckle bones of a cow, etc.